What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So 35 days left until Uncharted 4 A Thief's End is finally coming out. I can't wait, and it seems you're all really enjoying the frequent coverage that I'm currently doing on the game. So I really appreciate all your support because it has been great so far. But of course, I'd like to quickly ask you, if you can, leave a like on a video or make sure to share these episodes with your friends, because as I'm counting down the days until the launch of the game, yeah, I'm planning to pretty much do lots and lots of more coverage on this game. So it's going to be super exciting, and as I said, you've been doing a great job at it already, but the more support these videos get, the more I'll make sure to keep doing them, hopefully every 1 or 2 days, so I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, today, of course, yesterday by the way, we got a new gameplay demo for Uncharted 4, the Madagascar one, and followed by that we got a lot of information about the game, because many people have had interviews with people like Neil Druckmann, who have revealed quite some interesting things about Uncharted 4 that I think will invoke some pretty mixed reactions. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting video. I just wrote down a couple things here that I wanted to address, and then I think you'll be very vocal about in the comments. So definitely let me know your opinions, but for now let's get into it, okay? So first thing, and this is pretty sad if you think about it, you will not be able to play as Donna Drake in Uncharted 4. Yes, it really sucks. So according to Neil Druckmann, I'm reading it quickly now, the decision was made to take the character out because, and he says, I didn't want to have to laugh at someone's expense, adding that I thought we had matured beyond that. That's not to say Donna Drake wasn't on the cards, because he says we actually had the whole thing modeled in and there, explains Druckmann, concluding that the team decided to make the call not to do it. A choice that was made internally. We had a big debate about it and kind of approached it from all kinds of angles and decided we weren't comfortable having it in our game. So no, you're not going to be able to play as Donna Drake in the game. And you know, for me this is not like a giant deal or anything like that, because me personally, I've never, prior to the Nathan Drake collection, I had never played through any Uncharted game as Donna Drake or something. I really don't care too much about skins and everything in a game like Uncharted myself, right? But at the same time, I've actually seen online that a lot of people are very sad about this and that they wanted to play as Donna Drake and that it's something that they used to do in those games. And this is kind of my thing, and I said it before with the In Like Flynn video, and I know people are gonna get mad at me for saying it, but I'm once again just gonna do it because I said it there as well. Look, North Rock seems to be a great studio that is very, you know, very capable of making amazing games, both single player and, since pretty much Uncharted 2, also making great multiplayer modes, but what they're not very good at, it seems, is really listening to the community. They don't care too much about what people want or what they think, you know, they just do what they think is the correct thing to do, and that's what they leave it at. And I find that kind of a shame, because this is kind of my thing. With Neil Druckmann saying, I thought we had matured beyond that, I'm like, really? You put Donna Drake in Uncharted 1, 2 and 3. This is the final one in the series. Is it that big of a deal to put him in there once again? I mean, this is just like some stupid stuff to, because you're afraid to offend people again, and I don't get that. Like, I find it so sad that people get so easily offended by this type of stuff. That being said, I think there's plenty of, you know, we're talking of course about the fat audience or whatever. I think there's plenty of them that really don't get offended by it at all. So I just don't understand why you would not include Donna Drake in it, especially if you look like hell. I mean, look at how many people are asking for this to be in the game and that they are actually sad that it's not going to be. And at the same time, we just had the Nathan Drake collection coming out, where you literally got a trophy for playing through each game as Donna Drake. So then it doesn't make sense, right, that he's not gonna be in this new game. You know, for me personally, once again, like, it's not that big of a deal, but I'm once again standing up for the community here, and it seems that they really wanted to have this in the game, and it just sucks that they're not doing it, because probably they feel like they're gonna offend some people. I just don't get it, you know, especially with the cutscenes in Uncharted 4 being real time. You would have now been able to see Donna Drake in cutscenes as well this time around, where that wasn't possible in the previous ones, because those were pre-rendered cutscenes. So, yeah, that's kind of my stance on it. I think he should be included. I don't get that. Like, I just don't understand why North Rock does not listen to people's feedback that much. You know, like, they make every single patch they make the game pretty much in multiplayer with, for example, Uncharted 2 and 3. They seem to make, with every single patch, they seem to make the game worse, you know, and in terms of listening to community feedback, they're asking for it, but at the same time, when the #1 thing is, for example, to get Steve Valentine back in for Harry Flynn, they just wave that criticism criticism away, and they don't even explain why he's not in there, and they just leave it at that. I find it to really, it just feels bad, man. That's what it does, you know, like it really sucks. Anyway, let's continue to the next thing. So apparently Uncharted 4 will also have a very divisive ending. This is what Neil Druckmann said about it. I think people will discuss the ending. If focus tests are anything to go by, there will be some arguments about the ending, he told IGN. I'm excited. Indifference would be the worst thing. I would rather have people hate it than be indifferent to it. We'll see how they react. Then asked directly if Nathan Drake would die at the end of Uncharted 4 Thieves, and Druckmann said, do you really want me to tell you? You don't really want me to tell you. So yeah, Uncharted 4 will have a very divisive ending, meaning that it will be super controversial and it will have many people talking about it, and this was kind of what I was afraid for, and it makes me once again think that there's going to be some pretty sad things in there, you know. This is not going to be your typical Uncharted all happy ending like we've seen in 1, 2 and 3. Otherwise, he would not be saying that it would invoke or cause some controversial reactions to it, right? So I've said it from the beginning, I think Elena is going to die, and that's just my personal prediction once again. I think that's something that's going to make a lot of people, of course, talk about the ending and act so controversial about it, if you get what I mean, because it's going to have some kind of sad twist to it. Some people said, nah, it's just that Sam is going to die, but I think Sam is a new character. He's not going to have the same, you know, mixed reactions to it when he dies compared to somebody like Elena or Sully, right? I mean, he will not in any way have that same emotional impact because people aren't used to the character that much, you know. You will, of course, by the time you beat the game, kind of, but not in the same way as Elena or Sully, because those have been in 4 games in total. Sam has only been in 1, so I think something terrible is gonna happen. I don't think Nathan Drake is gonna die. I think it's gonna be one of the other characters that both Drake and we really care about, like Elena and Sully. So yeah, we'll see about that. Anyway, this falls in line with what I already said in my previous videos as well. I had always expected it would have kind of like a divisive ending, where, you know, people, it's not gonna have the same happy, you know, all happy out ending like we are used to from Uncharted, basically. But apart from that, these were pretty much the 2 biggest things I wanted to talk about. Neil Druckmann also quickly said that there's no info yet on the Uncharted movie or on the Last of Us movie for that matter. They've not been working on that for 1.5 years now, so to me it's just like, you might as well just cancel the Uncharted movie, because with the Uncharted series now finally ending, it's like, you know, do you still really need to make that movie? It's probably only going to ruin the whole legacy you've left behind with the 4 games that we have gotten by now, right? So yeah, I personally don't want to see the movie. And apart from that, there's also one more little news thing I wanted to talk about, which is that Naughty Dog is apparently fine with Uncharted 4 as long as a studio can do it. Also falls in line completely with what we already knew, you know, the Uncharted rights will always be in Sony's hands, so they decide the fate of the series, but at the same time, yeah, Naughty Dog would only be really comfortable or happy with it if a studio could kind of like pitch a great new idea for the series, and if the studio would also be capable of doing it. So it has to be a really big one where we know that they can make amazing games. But anyway, if that doesn't happen, then they will simply leave Uncharted where it is, which is now the end of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. So with that being said, that was all the news I wanted to talk about. So make sure to let me know in the comments what you think about No Donut Drake being in Uncharted 4, and also about the very divisive ending. How do you think Uncharted 4 will end? And then for now, thanks a lot for watching, and hope to see you again next time.